We're diving into Yakuza Kiwami to explore its gripping story and gameplay. By the end of this review, you'll know if it's still worth playing in 2024. Let's get started. The story kicks off with a major incident where Kiryu's best friend, Nishikiyama, murders their boss, leading Kiryu to take the blame. This decision costs him 10 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Upon his release, Kiryu finds himself expelled from the Tojo clan, a massive 10 billion yen missing, and the clan's chairman dead. To make matters worse, Nishikiyama has risen in power, and a mysterious young girl named Haruka is entangled in the chaos. The plot of Yakuza Kiwami remains one of its strongest aspects even in 2024. The twists and turns of the narrative keep you engaged, with a mixture of crime drama, personal betrayal, and emotional moments. Kiryu's return to Kamurocho is more than just a fight for survival. It's a journey through a web of complex relationships. The constant shifting of allegiances and motivations keeps you guessing, and while not every plot point lands perfectly, the overall arc is gripping. However, parts of the story haven't aged well. Nishikiyama's transformation from a close friend to a bitter antagonist feels somewhat shallow upon a closer look, and some of the motivations feel less convincing today. The frequency of Haruka, Kiryu's adoptive daughter, being kidnapped can also stretch believability at times, but these are small flaws in what remains a compelling narrative. Yakuza Kiwami succeeds in balancing its tone. On one hand, it delivers gritty, serious moments full of tension, and on the other, it offers a wacky, almost absurd sense of humor. The series is known for its ability to blend heartfelt, emotional storylines with over-the-top scenarios, and Kiwami is no exception. Whether it's the dramatic standoffs with rival Yakuza, or the bizarre side stories involving karaoke or wacky characters, the game has a unique ability to pull off both extremes effectively. One of the major improvements in Kiwami is the localization and the use of the original Japanese voice acting. Unlike the infamous English dub from the original PlayStation 2 release, the Japanese audio enhances the authenticity of the game. The localization team also did an excellent job ensuring that the sometimes convoluted Yakuza hierarchy is understandable to players. While the voice acting is top-notch, the background music and sound design aren't particularly memorable. The ambient music fits the mood, but it doesn't stand out much, acting more as a subtle backdrop to the main story. Visually, Yakuza Kiwami is a significant upgrade from the original, but it's still far from perfect. As a remaster, it improves the resolution, textures, and overall frame rate. However, issues such as texture glitches and occasional frame rate drops still pop up, especially during combat. Camera angles can be problematic in tight corridors, but none of these flaws are game-breaking. The remaster also adds new content to help connect Yakuza 0 and Kiwami, giving more context to events and relationships. Combat is where Yakuza Kiwami really shines. The game adopts Yakuza 0 combat system, allowing Kiryu to switch between 4 fighting styles: Brawler, Rush, Beast, and Dragon. Each style has its strengths and weaknesses, and the ability to seamlessly switch between them in battle adds a layer of strategy to the game. The heat actions, special moves that deliver punishing blows, are as brutal and satisfying as ever. Kiwami introduces new heat actions, and each one feels more violent and over the top than the last. Combat feels fluid and responsive, a far cry from the stiffer mechanics of the original. One of the unique features of Kiwami is the Majima Everywhere system. Goro Majima, Kiryu's eccentric rival, randomly appears in the streets of Kamurocho, forcing Kiryu into unexpected battles. Defeating Majima unlocks new abilities for Kiryu's dragon fighting style, making these encounters both fun and rewarding. The random nature of these fights keeps things fresh, although encountering Majima repeatedly can get a bit repetitive. Still, the system adds a layer of unpredictability to the gameplay that many fans enjoy. Outside of the main story and combat, Kiwami offers plenty of side content. Mini-games and sub-stories return, but with mixed results. While some mini-games, like the crane game, are fun distractions, others feel clunky and awkward. A new mini-game, Mesu King, involves collecting insect cards and battling in a rock-paper-scissors style game. It's a bizarre addition, and not everyone's cup of tea, but thankfully, it's optional. The sub-stories in Kiwami are enjoyable, though they don't quite match the creativity of those found in Yakuza 0 or later entries in the series. Yakuza Kiwami in 2024 remains a solid entry for both newcomers and returning fans. While it has some aging elements, the remaster does a great job of enhancing the experience with smoother combat, better visuals, and improved voice acting. The story, despite its occasional flaws, is still captivating, offering a mix of emotional depth and quirky humor. If you're looking for a crime drama that doesn't take itself too seriously and offers a ton of content, Kiwami is definitely worth playing. If you're curious about more action-packed games like Rise of the Ronin, make sure to check out our full review. Hit the link to find out if it's worth playing